If you wanna know, here it goes. Gonna tell you there's a part of me that shows. If we're close, gonna let you see everything. But remember that you asked for it. I'll try to do my best to impress, but it's easier to let you take a guess at the rest. But you wanna hear what lives in my brain, in my heart. Well, you asked for it for your perusing. At times confusing, slightly amusing.
Hello, welcome to another episode of Wine Talk Podcast. I'm here joined by the gorgeous
Davin
and the wonderful
Jesus
and Daisy, of course.
Can't forget her, the most important one in the podcast.
She's I.
She's like, I'm just one of many.
Oh my gosh, like 2 weeks ago, we didn't have a Monday where we recorded, and we always record on Monday. And I texted Daisy, and we were planning on doing it, but we just didn't communicate well enough with each other. And I texted Daisy, and I was like, we missed you on Wine Talks podcast this week. And she goes, oh my gosh, did you record without me? And I was like, no, it's not Wine Talks without you, girl. Don't worry. Did you replace me?
So you're easily replaceable, so yes, we should.
We replaced you with our dog, Chico.
You follow that Beyonce song.
To the left.
Alright. So today, I just wanted to talk about us. What a difference.
I always talk about me. This will be easy.
I can do this.
No. What about like the quirkiness of us, you know?
Uh-huh.
The quirkiness of the people around us, you know?
Okay.
So share something dorky or quirky or weird about you.
Okay.
What makes you
Like-
human?
Well, why don't you go first to give us an example?
Okay, so here's something that a lot of people don't know about me.
Okay.
Some people might know.
You drink a lot of wine.
Done.
I
Is that it? I was kidding.
I run my mouth when I drink wine.
Culture shock.
Yes. But I work in customer service.
Okay.
And a lot of people, like, if you talk to them about me, the first thing they'll say about me is I'm very friendly, very happy, bubbly person. But in my private life, I'm a very don't talk to me person.
Girl, me too.
I'm like, if I don't tell you my shit, there's no reason why you should know my shit. Like, who gave you permission to be all up in my business?
There is a wall up for
There
a
is
reason.
a wall.
She's Donald Trumping you right
Nope.
now. Build that wall, girl.
There's no
And
tunnels.
Jesus is paying for it.
But like, you know, like I'll go to the store and, you know, instead of being sociable and whatever, I'll put my headphones in and I'll look down and I'll have sunglasses and it's like, don't fucking talk to me. I'll go to the
Yes.
self-service. I'm like, I don't even want to know who you are. Like,
Can I tell you something I've done? I've pretended to be on the phone in the store before so nobody will talk to me.
yes.
Oh my god.
Because I'm like,
Seriously.
I don't want to know anything
Make sure you
about
put your phone on silent though if you're going to try that stuff. I'll hold it up and I'll be like, yes. And I have nobody on the other line.
And it's like,
and then it rings. And then it rings.
oh shit, somebody on my second line.
let me put you on hold.
Let me answer.
But I'm a very antisocial and private person, as a matter of fact. I only have a selective few individuals or friends who I talk to on an everyday basis, because I don't like talking.
Yeah.
And when I was younger, actually, my mom thought that I had depression because I wouldn't hang out with like little, you know, when I was in elementary school, like I wouldn't hang out with the little girls or whatever, and I never went outside. I was always reading, or I would hide in the bathtub and I would take a pillow in there so that nobody would find me and shit, or like hide under my bed and read under my bed because I didn't want to talk to anybody in my family, and my mom thought that I was like depressive, and it was just, no, I just want to be alone.
Yeah, I think we're both.
Yeah.
I feel like that's something that we have in common is we're very both much introverts. Whereas I think Jesus is very much an extrovert,
Yes.
where he loves to communicate with people.
Yeah.
When me and you would rather lock ourselves in our rooms, and
Yeah.
we're fine though. Like that's our happy place.
Yes, and that was my really. I told my mom, I was like, I may be alone, but I'm not lonely.
Yeah.
And it was such a hard concept for her to
See,
understand.
that's something he has a hard time
Yeah.
understanding.
I
It's
do.
like,
Like, there's been days where, like, Demi will, like, just be home and he'll tell me, he'll say, you know, I want to be alone, or I come into the room and he's literally under the bed, just curled up in a ball, and I automatically think, like, oh my gosh, something's
He's
wrong with
sad.
him. What's going on? And I have this bad habit of, what's wrong? Tell me. No, for reals. Baby, what's wrong? talk to me, please. And he's like, nothing is wrong. I want to be
Just
alone.
leave me
Yeah.
alone.
And I'm like, no, but there's something wrong because you're alone. Like, tell me. Because yes,
Yeah.
I'm a very social person. I'm the total opposite. Like, I go to the stores and I'm like, who do I know? Who can I say hello to? Like, hi.
Who do I not know? Who can I make friends with?
Yeah. Seriously.
yeah,
Like,
no.
yeah. Like, one of the things, we run Ragnar races. And
I know, you're such a friendly whore.
Every single...
He has a picture with the new person each leg.
Every time.
Every single time I run, I'm like, oh my gosh, I met this friend. Her name is Clara, and she ran with me the whole time.
When
Like,
you told
Shout
me-
out to Clara.
Shout out to Claire.
Hope
When
you
you-
listening, girl.
When you told me that you had lunch with one of our customers, do you know who I'm talking about?
oh, yes. Uh-huh.
In my mind, I was like, I cannot believe that this individual, whom I know and love, had a lunch with a perfect stranger and was able to uphold a conversation
Oh my gosh.
based out of nothing.
We had a blast. Like, we were talking, and we went out, and she picked the place, and I was like, girl, what up? And, like, we sat there, and we talked, and I
See,
talked
I
to her
wouldn't
about
be
my
able to-
life, and,
Oh,
and she
God.
went to my wedding recently, too.
Yes,
and,
she
like,
did, and I'm surprised that she was there.
Like,
See,
she-
because I would have been like, oh, what a weirdo, invited me to his wedding.
No, like, I just think it's so much fun, and, like, and I'm the total opposite, because if I'm ever alone, I feel like that's when I'm lonely. I can't. If I'm alone, I get so sad, I get so depressed, my mind starts...
Oh, I love
Isn't
it.
that so crazy how people's personalities are so different, though?
Oh, yeah.
Like how we can feel that loneliness.
And my dad used to be like, I used to be that kind of girl that my dad would be like, they didn't give you what you ordered, you should go return it. And I'd be like, no, that's okay, I'll eat it. And my dad would push me. He'd be like, ándale, cabrón, like, go tell him, like, that's not what you wanted. And he would, like, pull me by my ear and be like, my daughter has something to say to you. And I'd just be like, I just want to die. You know, like, that's the kind of dad that I had.
wanna be in there.
And I think because of him is that I'm such an outgoing person now, and because of work has, see, when I'm being friendly, I'm like, God, I'm so annoying, but when it's work, I'm like, I'm getting paid for this. Smile.
Happy. Hello.
Like, this is my
Oh
job,
my
bitches. I could be at Disneyland.
Welcome.
Oh my.
Welcome.
Daisy literally just did the parade princess wave. Can you imagine her sitting at a desk being like, how can I help you with her princess wave?
Goodbye, bitches. Goodbye.
And then just like turn to the evil queen. Don't fucking talk to me. I'm off. I'm not getting paid anymore, little kid. Go over there.
6 o'clock hits, get the fuck out of my face.
And cut.
No,
That's
but
crazy.
yeah, so that's the thing about me. It's like I'm not really social with people that I don't know, and I'm not afraid of it.
Okay, so I have mine. So, like, for example, kind of going based off of this, because I do like to be surrounded by people all the time. So maybe one thing that Davin obviously knows about me, but I feel like nobody else really, is I'm a very, so kind of two things. I'm a very needy person when it comes to, like, going to bed. Like, I have to physically be touching my significant other or I cannot go to bed. Like, that does not mean I have to be, like cuddling him necessarily, but my hand or my foot or my knee, like something literally needs to be physically touching him. Otherwise, I cannot go to bed. And it is the worst because I mean,
Hey, summer is my hell. My literal hell.
and along with that, maybe something that's kind of weird about me is like I cannot go to bed, even if it's burning. Like let's say it's 150 degrees, I cannot go to bed unless I'm covered up. Like, I seriously cannot. Like, that. I have
My
this
feet
weird...
are the only thing you have to be covered up.
No.
Other than that, my whole body's...
No, I can't. Like, my feet... Like,
Be
everything...
like Woody Allen.
Like, everything has to be covered. I have to be under the blanket, and I could literally be, like, having a heat stroke. But I cannot go to bed unless unless I'm physically covered. I don't know why. I don't know what it is about it. But I feel like, otherwise, like... I don't know. I feel like otherwise something or someone can just come in and grab me or something. It's so crazy. I don't know what it is, but I have this thing. So like, there's been days where like that means like, oh, it's so hot in here. Like, and he like will go ahead and remove pretty much all of the blankets and everything, and I'm just like, okay, well, I'm just gonna be curled up over here. So I just can't. I think it's something that's kind of weird about me.
But
what
I think I
about
can
you?
cuddle with his Chico,
Oh yeah.
my dog. But it's because he doesn't give off that much body heat. He's only like this man. He only weighs 5 pounds.
Yeah.
Hugh, you're like a inferno. I'm just like, I can't do this.
Because you're that hot.
Hey!
Hey! Are you guys like separate?
He is not well, when we started dating, he was like cuddler. Now he don't really want to cuddle.
Are you cool with it though? Are you like, both of you guys are like good on your separate sides of the bed?
I've always slept with one of my sisters, so we always shared rooms. So it was always like either with my big sister or with my smaller sister, we always share a bed. Mm-hmm. So I'm used to sleeping with somebody, but it's kind of like what Jesus says, like, as long as I know that you're next to me, I could just be like touching your knee. Mm-hmm. It doesn't have to be like I'm over you, but like as long as my hand feels that you're next to me, I'm okay. Yeah. And it's funny because there was a period of time that Nick went on a trip, and for like 2-3 days I was sleeping by myself, and it felt so weird. Whereas before I had gotten used to it, and it felt so weird not having him that I had to go get my cat and I had to go and like cuddle her.
Yeah. That must be your guys' growing up then, because Jesus said when he first moved here too that your mom and dad would all sleep in the same bed together.
We did.
I think it's a thing.
Touching, yeah.
Whereas
me growing up, my parents were like, as soon as I was able to be in my own bed, I was in my own bed. My parents now and then would call me in just because I was the youngest, and so they'd be like, we want our youngest kid to still feel like he's the youngest. But other than that, my parents were like, you sleep in your own bed. Like, seriously, I remember I was in my old house, so I had to be at least 5 the moment I remember sleeping in my own bed. I slept in the same room as my sister, but we all both had our own beds. And so I was never a very physical, touching to somebody. I was always very like, I want to sleep alone.
See, and because you're right. Like when we first moved to the U.S., we only had one bed, so we all slept together. Mm-hmm. And my mom would always hold me. Mm. And then once I had my little sister was she was a baby and stuff, but once she was old enough, she loved me. She still does, of course. What's not to love? But just kidding. We used to have bunk beds. She wanted to sleep with me, so we got bunk beds, and she was so afraid of sleeping on her own, so she would actually sleep next to me. And so for a couple years, my sister and I would sleep together in the same room, and same thing, I would go ahead and hold her through the night. At this point I was 13, 14, so that means she was 8 years younger than I was, so. But yeah, we would just go ahead and just cuddle, and then all of a sudden, and I think, and it's kind of like you said, it doesn't even have to be physically, like, holding you, but then that's another thing, too. After my little sister was old enough, and, she had her own room and her own bed, I used to sleep with a teddy bear, as embarrassing as that sounds.
That's not embarrassing, though, because I think that's what I think of my dog as, too, is a little teddy bear. Like, he makes me feel protected. And that's why I think stuffed animals make you feel is like, there's something there to love you. Like, even though they're not real, they don't have feelings.
Sometimes you just need the presence, right? Because when my middle sister got married and moved out, and my mom got a divorce, we both felt alone, so then we both started sharing bed. Yeah. And we were full-grown adults at the time. She would be like, Mija, do you want to come sleep with me? I'd be like, yes.
I think that's beautiful. I love it. Well, even now, that freaking gift that Sarah gave you 2 weeks ago, you're 25 now, and you still, you cuddle it, and that's perfectly fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
My little sister, my birthday was 2 weeks ago, and my little sister got me, it's almost like a pillow pet. Of a little monkey.
But it's bigger than a regular pillow pet.
Yeah, it's a little bit bigger, so you can actually hold it and hug it. And the reason why it's like a little monkey, and the reason why was because my mom would always call us chango changas. She'd be like, ay changuita, ay changuito. And so she thought that it'd be cute, so she got it for me. And lately, Davin's been like, oh, it's too hot, don't hold me. And so lately, I've just been grabbing onto that little teddy bear. But yeah, I don't know what it is. It just makes me feel, like you said, just kind of safe and
I think that's cute.
Guarded. So
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think you can be up into your adult. I know adults that still sleep with their baby blankets, all tattered up with holes in them and everything.
There's a certain comfort to it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So what about you, Debbie? What's something weird?
Something weird about me. I don't know. There's a lot of things weird about me that
I know
that there's a lot of weird things about everybody, but I don't know, something about me, especially we're recording this the day before Halloween. I know that it'll be already November, which is really cool because my birthday is a couple days away when we post this.
Oh, is it?
Actually, if I repost this on Friday, it'll be the next day after. So get my present ready, Daisy. Okay. A bottle of wine. That's all I asked for. But
she's asking for too much. Huh?
$8. Oh wait, I'm not just kidding.
Girl, I bought this bottle for $5, so you're good. That's cheaper than a Happy Meal at McDonald's. I don't know.
I don't even know what a Happy Meal goes for.
But something weird about me, not weird, I guess, something I love is I love getting into, like, card readings and mediums and things like that. Like, that's something I really love. And, like, I like to read cards for fun, like people's cards. I don't like charge people or anything like that. Like, it's just something I feel like makes me feel better, and it's something that helps me communicate with people. Like, because how Daisy said she doesn't really like to communicate with people in her own personal time. That's something that helps me communicate with people around me. Like, sometimes I'll just be feeling down and I'll ask Jesus to let me read his cards, and it'll make me feel better. Like, it's just something I like to do, and it makes me feel better. And yeah, that's something weird about me. I like reading cards. Like,
yeah, it's crazy because when I first met David, like, I hadn't been introduced to, like, the whole, like, because what are your cards called? They're not called tarot cards. Oracle cards. Like, I had never been introduced into anything like that or anything, and it was crazy because I was very hesitant the first time that he read my cards. I was like, I don't believe in this. Like, should I even let him do this for me? Like, and I was like, whatever, just do it. And I went into it with that mindset of, I don't believe in this. This is whack. He's crazy. Like, he's not gonna know anything. And all of a sudden, like, he was like, he said, okay, just ask a question, but don't tell me what that question is. Like, just kind of be thinking about it. And literally, all the cards that he pulled and what they meant and what they signified, I was like, this is crazy. Like, it's like you literally read my mind. Like, everything was just spot on. And I remember I was, like, crying, and I was just like...
We both were.
Yeah, I was like an emotional wreck. I was like, what is going on? And he was like, well, we're done. I was like, okay.
I don't think that's weird. I like that.
I do too, yeah.
And I feel like something I like, because the go as well that goes on with that is something that my friend, her name is Teresha, shout out girl, you also supplied our last bottle of wine for this Wine Talks. She introduced me into this thing. She introduced me to a medium that I went to that also explained to me that I was an empath. And I think everybody has empathy. I think everybody in this world has empathy, but if you're like an empath, an empathetic person, like to the hardcore, is you feel a lot of people's emotions. And I think that's something that makes me struggle every day in this world, because I feel people's energies. I think, like, this is what I, in my own mind, like, you don't have to believe in it at all, but like that stuff really affects my emotions. And I can't help, like, when there's certain tragedies that happen, or there's certain people's moods, or somebody's pregnant, or like these different things, like I feel people's emotions, and that's something that makes me, most of the time it's sad. I don't ever really feel joy too much from other people, but like, it's weird. That's like just like another quirky thing about me is like I feel a lot of people's sad emotions, and it really takes a toll on my own heart and my own mind. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's weird.
I think that's cool, and I used to think that everyone was like that, because I feel
I
that
think
I'm
they
like
are
that.
Though.
I don't think so.
No?
I don't think so either.
I think
because...
there's people who lack empathy, people who you tell them about something sad or something, and they are like, well,
dang,
tough
that
shit.
sucks. Yeah, like, dang, that sucks. Okay, moving
or that's
on.
terrible. But to actually feel it, and because I myself have been in situations where something tragically has happened to somebody next to me or around me, and my mom or my sisters would be like, stop crying, like, it's not even you. And I'd be like, but in my heart I feel the loss like if it was mine.
Yep.
Or I feel the tragedy like it was mine, and I know I'm supposed to detach myself. And my dad used to be like, I just have to stop being so sensitive. And I think that's what sets us apart, that we're not unsensitive to these things.
Yes.
That we can relate to
that's
people.
something I felt from you, and I might be bringing up something sensitive, but when we were having the rosaries for Jesus' mom has passed away, and I remember you coming over, and you were like, I can't stay just because I feel too much, and I don't want to over, which is fine.
Yeah, I'm
like,
sorry.
it was no, don't be sorry. Like, it was a completely fine thing to feel, but it was like, that was something I could see in you, is you're like, you feel stuff more, like you could see it in her eyes that it was something that she felt was like her own something passing away. And
see, and I think it's crazy that both of you guys are like that, because I feel like I'm the complete opposite. I almost feel like, yeah, even though like and it's kind of crazy to think about me, but like because I'm a very, like you said, I'm a very social person. I mean, the beginning of this conversation, I'm like, I
Yeah,
can't be alone.
yeah, I was saying.
You know, like, I love meeting
You
new
just say
people.
that.
And hello, hi, hey,
Yeah.
and laughing. And a lot of people, like, when you ask people, like, oh my gosh, how would you describe Jesus? I always get, like, super happy. Like his laugh is contagious, and his smile, he's always smiling. But I almost feel like when it comes to something that's serious or something that is sad, I almost become very numb to it. Like, and it sounds crazy because it almost makes me feel like I'm almost cold-hearted, because I'm kind of like what you were just describing, where somebody's like, my dog passed away, and I'm like, dang, that sucks. And that's my response to it. I'm like, dang, oh well, let's go. And it's like,
I don't feel
I don't
that
think
from
so
you.
either.
No, I do.
I don't think so.
And I think
maybe
it's,
inside your mind you're doing that, but you definitely project something different.
Maybe you feel for certain people, not as easily for
True,
everybody,
true.
but maybe you do feel for certain people. Because I know I'm one of those, like, I cry for everything.
Me too.
Like, I see one of those, like, puppy ads, and I'm like, oh, poor
In
puppy.
the arms of the angel.
Yeah. Or like, or
This
just
is like I'm donating now.
yeah. Or just as the shooting thing that happened in Vegas. You know,
Yeah.
when I was watching the video.
Yeah, you were so
In my-
pathetic with that.
see, that's the thing though,
And
like,
you-
I am
yeah.
very empathetic, and I love helping out. Like, whenever I see anything like that, like, I'm gonna do a difference. Like, when my mom passed away, like, my mom was the first case, like, my mom was the first person ever in
Close to
my
you.
family, or even like a close friend to pass away. So the fact that it was my mom, like, was very hard on me. And I remember after, like, I had no knowledge of cancer. You hear about cancer and you just kind of like, whatever, you know, you kind of think, you know, it's not ever gonna happen to me or anybody that I love, you know, so kind of throw it off in you know, at the end of the bus, sort of thing. And all of a sudden it happened to the person that I love the most in this world, and you become educated on it and everything. And I remember, like, literally, what was it, a month after my mom passed away, like, we ended up signing up for a Huntsman Cancer Institute race. You know, the Huntsman is
Cancer center.
a cancer
Hospital.
center. You know, and even though that's not where my mom got treated, like, I was like, I need to raise awareness, you know, and it was like a promise that I
And
made
the cool
my
thing was
mom.
about it was the money that you donated went to the kind of research that. So we donated to the research that your mom, the type of cancer that your mom had.
Right. And it was just everything all the money that was raised was to go ahead and help those families in need. And it's like, we did it, and we actually raised a lot of money, and people donated, like, close friends and close family members and everything. And it's just like, but sometimes I do still feel, especially after my mom passed away, I do feel like I have become very numb to sad things, because everything leads me back to my mom passing away. And to this day, even though it's been a little over a year that my mom has passed away, I refuse to talk about it, because it makes me sad, and it puts me into this situation where I'm just like, I don't. And it's something that, like, I have been struggling with Davin, actually, too, because actually just today I came home from work, and Davin said, I have a surprise for you, and he had set up our Day of the Dead, like, what's it called?
It's called an
Altar.
offering. Yeah, it's like an altar. So, like, when, like, people don't realize that the Halloween is also, it's called All Hallows Eve because it is the day before the veil is at its thinnest for the dead to come and visit their family members, supposedly, if you believe in it. So November 1st is the actual holiday that it's for, but a lot of people made Halloween the actual holiday for it. But November 1st is the actual Day of the Dead, where the veil between the dead and the living is at its thinnest, and they can come visit us. And so we set up, it's mostly, I think is it a Mexican thing or is it a Catholic thing?
I think it's a
Mexican
Is it a Mexican thing?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, like in Mexico, they set up an altar.
Hispanic.
Like
Don't quote us on that.
Yeah, don't quote us. Like, yeah.
Do your
'Cause
research.
Do
We
your
just
research.
we learn from our families, and they just give us what. Yeah. So
I mean, I know they do it in Mexico, and most
Yeah.
people are Catholic in Mexico,
yeah.
so there you go.
So it might be a Mexican and Catholic thing. I don't know. But you set up an altar, and you leave your family their favorite treats, their favorite drinks, their different things like that, and then it just kind of honor them, and then hopefully they come and
yeah,
visit
it's supposed to be so they come and visit you. They come and visit the things that they loved while they were alive.
Yeah.
They rejoice.
Yeah.
And it's like coming home and seeing that, like, it put a huge smile on my face, but it also made me, like, very sad, obviously, to see that, you know, like, I would have never thought that I was gonna one day have, you know, I mean, I knew one day I was gonna have to, you know, but I didn't know it was gonna be
So
at this
soon.
point in my life. Yeah. And it's something that, like, ever since my mom passed away, I feel like I said, like, I just kind of closed off when it comes to that sort of stuff. And I don't feel like it makes me like sometimes I feel like I'm a little bit cold-hearted because of it, but at the same time, just like I know I have a big heart and I know that I do care, but something inside of me just kind of
that makes you close off more towards this more sensitive things in life.
Like I can't talk, like I said, and like the other day, like I was being super rude to Davin and everything. And he's like, "Why are you being rude?" And the whole point was like I was really missing my mom, and I was just having this breakdown of I wanted my mom around, and he's like, "You can't get over it if you don't talk about it, like you need to just let it out." And it's something that I've talked to Daisy about too, where I'm just like, I don't want to talk about it. And so I think it's crazy that you guys are mentioning, the fact that you guys feel other people's emotions, whether it's sad or anything like that. And I'm just kind of like, I almost try to just numb it out. I'm like, I don't
something
really
like
want
I heard is a lot of people who are introverts feel a lot more people's things, which is why they allow themselves to close off from other people. While as the people who are more outgoing, extroverts, like as Jesus, don't feel so many things, so they allow more people's energies to come into them. I don't know. I sound crazy, but it's like those energies come into you. You were able to deflect them is better than we would be able to, because we feel those things and we're like, crap. Like now I'm gonna freaking cry myself to sleep at night. Where you're like, I'm able to just kind of like push it, and that's fine with me. Yeah. And it's not a bad thing. It's because like Daisy said, you need those push and pulls in the world where you need the people to be. Because if everybody was like us, everyone would be crying in this world, and there would be nothing getting done.
Yeah, and you need that balance. I mean, I love Nick, but I can tell you right now that he's not an introvert.
Which is cool, because like neither is he, and that balances me out. Where it's like when I want to stay in bed, he's like, I'm gonna drag you out of bed. And, which is I don't mind it. I love it, because if not, I would freaking cry in bed all day, and then
And I feel like sometimes you need somebody to pull you back from that, because you can get lost in other people's feelings, and you can get lost in emotion, and you need that one force to be like, well, you need to get this shit over it.
And also they need us to be able to be like, feel something, feel it. Like, don't be afraid to feel your feelings. Like, those are there for a reason. The people who don't feel shit are the people who go out and do things that aren't. Like, you have to feel empathy for the human race.
Those people that are with people who are exactly like themselves. I'm like, if I needed something like me, I would just like bought myself a fucking mirror. Oh wait, I already have that.
I went with her. Just nice. She got two of them. She bought one with the light and one to see her whole body.
Yeah, I need both aspects of it. But I feel that you need somebody to challenge your ideas, and somebody to make you grow, and to challenge what you see in everyday life and what you perceive as normal. Because when you don't, then the moment you stop growing as an individual, that's the moment you start dying.
Yep, I agree. I think you should grow and learn something new every day, or else what's the point in living? Yeah, I learn something every day about somebody or something. About myself, about anything. I try to learn something every day. In my job, if I learn a new equation, or if I learn a new thing to measure something, like it's like I learn something, and I strive to be that better person every day. So, yeah.
So what would your advice for the week be? For this week?
Ooh.
How about let's say what we learned today, since we just talked about that. Something that we learn every day and that we should grow every day. What did you learn today, Jesus?
Just in this talk alone? Or just like a whole day alone?
The whole day. The whole day. What did you learn?
I learned not to be a pushover today. I was, not that I was having a crappy day, but I think I was just having one of those days where I'm just like, I'm over it, and I had to deal with somebody who was being very rude to me today, and I finally decided, which is something that I don't regularly do, but I finally decided to go ahead and just put my foot down and be like, listen, like, what you're doing, how you're treating me is not correct, and I'm not going to treat you the way that you're treating me, because that would just be like, me stabbing somebody, to make things worse. And so I was like, you know what, hey, listen, you're being very rude, and I'm willing to help you, but let me help you. And I think just seeing that person kind of be like, oh, dang, okay. And all of a sudden their whole mood changed. I was like, maybe that's what that person needed. Maybe that person treats everybody like that. And maybe I prevented this person from going over to the store and treating their cashier like that. And so I kind of, that's kind of what I learned today. That sometimes it's okay to be like, okay, I'm not going to let you treat me. Yeah, I'm not going to let you treat me like this.
Something I learned today is I tried staying in bed all day. I was supposed to go to work. I didn't. Just for like personal reasons, but like, I learned that sometimes you just kind of gotta get out of bed and you gotta make yourself do something even though you don't want to. Like, you gotta live. You gotta live even when you don't want to continue living. And no matter how hard your situation is, or even if you think it's hard, when a lot of people have it like harder or easier, whatever, like you just gotta get out of bed, and you gotta keep on living, and you gotta keep on doing your thing, because sometimes it's hard, but you just gotta keep going. So yeah.
I agree.
What do they say? All bad things past. If it hasn't passed, it's not the end.
I like that. I always like this. If you ever get if you get the chance, and maybe we'll feature this song on this podcast. It's called "The Sun Is Rising," and it just talks about that. It's talking about, like, you know, like when you think you're at the lowest and when like everything is just so dark. It's like, just remember that the sun is gonna rise. You know, it's like you could be in your darkest moment, but at the end of the day, it's like that sun is gonna rise, and it's just gonna make you. You know, you're gonna realize everything that you have to live for. So.
No hay mal que dure 100 años.
Exactly. Yeah. My mom would always tell me that too. She'd always say, you know what, today was maybe a bad day, but it's up to you now to wake up tomorrow and make tomorrow a great day. So I was like, all right.
Yeah.
Well, let's do it. Let's do it then. But what about you, Daisy?
I learned that you don't always know the great difference that you make in other people's life. You may think that what you're doing is insignificant and that you don't make a difference and that nobody realizes the work that you do and nobody appreciates what you do. But the moment that you are gone, they notice, and you, what might be insignificant to you can be making another person's day.
Oh yeah.
And it could make them in many different ways. It could be as simple as a smile, or as simple as, you know, if you see them, you always say hi to them. Maybe you're the only person that said hi to them the whole fucking day. And maybe that day they were thinking, oh, I'm gonna kill myself because nobody even notices me, and that one day you noticed them and you made that difference. And I feel that we go through life not always knowing the difference that we make, and sometimes we go through life not thanking the people that make a difference in our lives. And I think about that all the time, especially when I go by this store called Regan Company. It's a company that does like landscaping and does like that kind of products where they do lawns and stuff like that, and they do farming things. And they paid for my scholarship to go to the U. And on my last day, I told the guy, we were supposed to meet this guy, and I said, how can I repay you? You know, because I wouldn't have been able to go to college if it wasn't for the scholarship that you have given me. And he said, just bring me a picture of you graduating.
Oh, did you?
No. And every day that I go by there, I'm like, I'm going to bring him my picture. I printed it out, I framed it, and I never fucking took it. I don't know why. And sometimes I go by there because it's on my way to do something, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to drop that picture off. And it has been years since I graduated, and like, already. And every day I wake up and I'm like, I bet that Regan guy, he don't even know how he changed my life. Because I never got to thank him. And I'm sure there's people around us, well, not necessarily monetary, you know, but there's people around us that change our lives, and we don't ever tell them. And so, you know, if you have a moment this week, I know it's Halloween, so take a moment to appreciate the people around you, and take a moment to say thank you for being in my life, and thank you for doing that, even if it's like the guy at the grocery store, or the person who recharges your cell phone, or whatever, you know. Take a moment to say thank you for being in my life. Or maybe it's your mom, or maybe it's your little sister, or whoever, you know. Just take a moment to say, hey, you know, that little small thing that you do every day, it really fucking brightens up my day.
Off, yeah.
You know?
Well, Davina and I are going to make sure we go with you to drop off the graduation photo.
Yeah, no.
I have to do that. I really have to do that.
Now we're going to force you.
And I know where the guy's at, and I have it at home, and I swear to God, I've been meaning to do it, and for a reason or another, I haven't. And I'm like, that guy doesn't know how much he changed my
We'll
life.
post the picture.
We'll post the picture.
Yes.
I mean, I don't even know if he's alive now. You know, he's an older man. I don't know.
We're still dropping it off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just drop it off regardless.
I love that. You guys made
Yeah, that
mine.
made
You
me-
guys made mine seem like it was nothing.
Well, no, it's important to be
And then I'm
assertive.
No, it is. It is.
It's important.
Stick up for yourself. That's
Yeah.
something I've always believed in. You always have to stick up for yourself.
You know, today, just to close it off, I know we're running a little bit late, but just to close it off, today I got a really great advice from a person that I didn't really consider to be that close to me, but he said something and it really stuck with me. And he said, it doesn't matter where you go. You always have to know that you have to believe in yourself. And don't wait for people to believe in you. And don't wait around for people to tell you how good you are. You should just fucking know how good you are.
Mm-hmm. I love that.
So, thank you. I don't think he listens to this. But I'm not really that close to him. And for him to say that to me, I want to say that to you. Don't wait for people to tell you how good you are. Just know that you are good. And believe in yourself no matter where you go.
Mm-hmm. I love that. This podcast went from like, yeah, to sappy weedy.
It's the wine.
Yeah.
The wine is talking.
The wine talking.
But no, thank you guys so much for listening, and is that the wine too?
Yes.
This is a robot podcast.
We will be back next week with another topic, and yeah, thank you guys so much for listening.
Yeah, and hope you had a good Halloween, because by the time this gets posted,
Yes.
Halloween will already be passed.
Schedule your dentist appointment as soon as possible.
You will need it.
What does Maria say? Happy
Happy Halloween.
Bye.
Bye.